Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. How is BOGO treating you?
3 so far.
Woo! BOGO crazy. Congratulations.
I gotta go.
Yay. Thank you guys so much for being on. I'm going to wait just a minute as we let everyone pop on here. Open up the chats as well. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and get started. It is the top of the hour. Thank you guys so much for plugging in with us today. My name is Denise Walsh, and you have been invited to this call because you are like a verified rock star. You are not just hanging out in this business. You are taking action on a consistent daily basis. And you have either reached one of the goals that we have, which is to get to 400 in personal volume each and every month, or you promoted. You promoted to executive, ruby, emerald, diamond, or above. Congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. Pat yourself on the back. You did it, you did it, you did it. And so we take a deep breath for a minute, right? We give ourselves kudos. We, hang out for a day, and then we get blinders on and back to work because we know that it is crazy promotion season, and they did not disappoint at the beginning of April when they started with our BOGO distributor wrap spot, or BOGO wrap. So buy one, get one, as you know, for customers or distributors. So I know you guys are just working your list and having fun and experiencing success every step of the way. So I want to just reward you for all your hard work by inviting you to this exclusive training call with Ambassador Diamond Alissa Bilyeu. Alissa, are you on with us today?
Hi, yeah.
Yay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being on, Miss Alissa. Now I want to introduce you a little bit. So Alissa is known, I don't know if you know this, but to me and our team, you are known for being one of the queens in social media. Not only is she if you check out her social media page, she's engaging. She's posting product information, distributor information, life information, and she's drawing people into her story as they're asking more questions and just want to be along for the ride. Her pictures are amazing. You can tell she does not just post to post, but that she puts a lot of effort and thought behind what she's posting. So I'm really eager, Alissa, to get to know you better and to introduce you to our amazing team because they are excited to learn from you too. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of how-tos and what to do, share with us your story. I know you're Ambassador Diamond, you live in Indiana, but tell us, how did you get started with It Works, why it works, all that.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So I've been with It Works. It'll be in 4 days. It'll be 3 years, which is so crazy. Time has flown since I joined the business, but I got started in the business after seeing a post on Facebook. Tiffany, my enroller, she worked her business for a few months on Facebook, and I never liked anything. I never commented on anything. And I was so intrigued by the wrap. And that was at the time all that I knew that you guys had was like the skinny wrap. I didn't know there were any other products. And so I maxed out our last credit card to become a loyal customer and to try some wraps. And as soon as I got them, I knew that I needed to use all 4. And thank goodness that she told me that, because it took me 3 to see any results. And so after my 3rd wrap, I instantly saw the business opportunity. And it wasn't something I was looking for, but we were struggling. We were teen parents. I was a college dropout. We were living on food stamps and government assistance. And when we joined the business, we had $5 to our name. We didn't even have the $99 for the kit. And so when she said, it's $99 plus tax and shipping, we were like, okay, how are we going to do that? And so we ended up selling some things on a local garage sale site where we were living. And that's how we purchased our kit. And from that moment, I think that people always ask, how did you get to where you are? And what'd you do? And so I didn't start working social media until I was almost a triple. And a lot of people don't know that, but I was wrapping people and having opportunity meetings. And we went on Ruby our first month, and I was having team trainings as a Ruby. And I think I was just always very confident in where I was in the business. And I never looked left and I never looked right, but I always focused on my own business. And so that will set you apart when you just put your head down and work your own business and do what works for you. So at the time, meeting people face to face was working for me. And when I say like I was having wrap parties, I was having a lot of one-on-one appointments. So there were times when I would get in front of a group of people, but for me, it was working doing one-on-one. So I was doing that as well. And our second month we went Emerald. We jumped from Emerald to Double in 4 months, and then 7 months to Triple, a year to Presidential, 2 years to Ambassador, and then Michael is also a Presidential. So our 2.0 account we have now, which is Diamond, it'll go Double this month, and I know, I'm so pumped. And you know, we just locked arms with our team, and I've had so many bumps along the way. So whenever like you hear my story, like trust me, I've had bumps along the way, and I've just grown through it, and I've learned through that. And you know, we've been blessed to become debt free and earning over $420,000 in these bonuses. It's been so life changing for us. And we were just inducted into the Millionaires Club, and life is so different than what we could ever have imagined. And I believe in this opportunity. I believe in, you know, residual income wasn't something I was familiar with, but now it is. And so you just have to get educated in that. And that, like that alone, like understanding and being taught what residual income is, was so eye-opening to me of what I truly have my hands on with this business.
Amazing. Okay. So I did not realize that you started with parties and one-on-ones. Now, was this your warm market? Were these people you met on the street? How did you?
So we were living on a college campus, which helped a lot. So if you're in college or near a college campus, you really want to utilize that. We were bringing in, honestly, so much rep cash that is what was paying our bills. Because we started doing the Dave Ramsey envelope system, and we would fill the envelopes with our rep cash. And so that was huge for us, was making the rep cash. And I think that also helped with like instantly seeing the opportunity, is because we were holding that cash in our hands. And so we never, even still today, we never ever miss out on wrap cash, just because we know that, you know, $25 for us back then meant that we could afford groceries or a new pair of shoes for Harper, or just something simple like that. It's all about the simplicity for sure. But I was also a blogger before, which once I tapped into my online market, that was huge for me. So I worked on that for about 2 years, building up my brand, my blog, and my social media. So when I say, you know, I got to Ambassador Diamond in 2 years, if you add on the 2 years that I put into building my social media, technically it would have taken me 4. So don't ever compare your story to mine, because I worked my butt off to get that social media following before I even joined the company.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Rep cash. I've been calling that our daily cash. We get paid daily with It Works when you sell wraps, and you have the ability to do that in a parking lot or like drive by wrap sale or wrap appointment. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but you can get the wraps in people's hands. So you made a point to do that. You got the wrap in people's hands. You, got out there, you were busy, you weren't waiting for people to come to you, you were going out and getting the wrap on them. And then I want to just mention too, the blogger. That's so cool. And I think people do need to recognize that there is an element of building your network. You know, what your network, you're the connections that you have. You are looking, you know, your warm market or lukewarm market or whatever just keeps getting bigger as you build more names to it. So whether you're doing BNI meetings, you're going to meetup groups, you are building that network through social media, that takes time, because it takes time for people to trust you and to feel like they know you. And we always say people buy you before they buy the product. So you already had a group of people who knew you, who liked you. They felt like you were giving them valuable content. You were adding value to their lives. They were checking back in before you even started with It Works. So very cool. All right. So when did you transition or maybe move to focusing on your social media accounts with It Works, or do you
So I always posted, even when I was like just getting started, I still did start sharing on social media, but I feel like I didn't even realize to tap into that. And because I had never done anything like this. So I was kind of learning as I was going, but I didn't start like tapping into it until after we were doubles. And so from that moment was when I realized that I was blitzing and wrapping people, and then I added social media on top of that. And so we even teach our team, to do all of it, do it all. And that way you will see so much success. But what you don't know is, like, for me, blitzing and wrapping people is like, it gives me hives and it's so uncomfortable for me. But I do it anyways, because I know that it brings me distributors, and it brings me customers, and it brings me just more lives that I can change. So that is very uncomfortable for me. And then social media has been a strength of mine. And I feel like with social media, people just always noticed that I was so consistent, and I never took a day off. Like, never once will you not see me post. My business is always open. And so people know that. And that's what people are looking for is, who is consistent, especially when it comes to joining a business. They want to join someone who they know is consistent, who they know is actually working. And so every day on social media, you will see that my business is opened and that I'm working. And that is what draws people to me, is that they know I'm always going to be there.
One question I have, especially for at the beginning, is how important was your before and after picture in getting started?
Oh my gosh, it was huge. Like, being a product of the product took so much pressure off of me feeling like I was selling something. And, just being able to share that with other people, whether it's a hair, skin, and nails, or a wrap before and after, or maybe you had like great weight loss. But when you are using these products, you are going to want to talk to everybody. So you're going to be so excited about it. And that was how I was messaging everyone my before and after picture, and I was talking to everybody. And I started taking, multiple products, hair, skin, and nails, and our greens. And I didn't realize how affected I was before I started the greens. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I lived without the greens for this long. But being a product of the product took so much pressure off of me. And then that is when I realized I can help other people feel so good. I can help other people achieve their goals and feel confident in a swimsuit. And, all the things that I was experiencing, I wanted other people to feel that too.
Awesome. Yeah, consistency is absolutely key, being a product of the product. And the first in, I know we've got a team right now, and all they're doing to get started is texting or messaging their warm market, their before and after, and saying something as simple as, oh my gosh, have you tried a wrap yet? Do you see what happened in 30 days? And sending their pictures out. And because people, again, want to know if you're having a difference or if you're experiencing a change or not. Okay, so let's talk about social media, because we do get a couple questions on our event page that we created for this call. And a lot of them were similar, so I broke them up into a few different categories. And the first one is, how do you, quote unquote, make new friends, work your Instagram and Facebook? Do you do it the same? Generally, how do you get more leads, generate more prospects? And then we'll talk about following up, building relationships, and closing the deal.
Okay, cool. So getting leads is, again, consistency. And when I'm adding people, especially on Instagram, because Facebook, when you're adding people, they automatically start seeing your stuff. But with Instagram, they don't have to add you back. You can just follow them. So whenever I'm adding people, I feel confident that my profile doesn't look spammy, and I know that they're going to want to follow me back. And I do Instagram versus Facebook a little bit different. I feel like on Instagram, it's more of like a blogger type looking profile. Than on Facebook, you can tell I'm a rap girl 100%. And the reason that I do that is because I'm trying to attract just different people on different platforms. And that for me has worked abundantly, bringing people in. And a lot of my business and people that I'm enrolling are through Instagram. And I add people to my network every single day, but there are certain things that I look for when I'm adding people. people. So I don't just start going through and clicking, follow, like for like 30 minutes. I don't do that. I'm looking for something specific when I'm following people. I'm looking at their profile. I'm looking to see, have they posted recently? Are they active on their social media? Because you don't want to start following people who haven't posted since like 2015. And there are profiles like that pop up and they're suggesting that you follow them, even though they haven't posted in forever. But that's something I look for as well. And then when I'm adding people, I'm going to like boutiques and just like popular Instagrams and seeing who's commenting, because I know that those people are active online. And so that's what I'm wanting, are people who are commenting and liking on pictures. And, that has been huge for me as far as the people I'm adding. I will like go to a boutique, I'll look through their comment section and see who's always commenting. And those are the people that I start adding. But you really don't want to get too caught up in like the numbers game as far as like, the type of people that you're adding. So if you could be adding 100 people, but out of those 100 people, what people do you really feel attracted to their profile? And so that's something that you have to take into account is, who are you attracting to your page and what type of people are you adding on social media? But I add to both every day, my Facebook and my Instagram. And like Facebook, I sort people into lists. And then Instagram, as I'm adding people, I turn on notifications for them so that I can start engaging with them, liking their posts, commenting on their posts, and things like that.
All right, I'm taking notes here. But you're right. I mean, think about it. Sometimes it's not even the quantity of people that you add or connect with. It's the quality. Are they someone you want to be friends with? Are they someone that is, think of what type of person you want to, that are leaders in the company. Are they positive? Are they friendly? Are they, et cetera? And so you kind of take a look at that and see if not only they're active, are they somebody you relate to? Would they relate with you? And that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a whole mental list of questions that I go through as I'm looking through people's profiles. But I feel like when you're connecting with people who you have so much in common with, that your conversations flow naturally. You can connect with them so much easier. And it just comes just so natural to build a relationship with them when you're doing that.
Awesome. Okay, so you go to boutiques or salons, public places. Now, are you doing anything specifically locally or just anywhere within
them? So I do a lot of like the geotags that you can do. Like if you type in like Indianapolis, or if like there are times when I'll be like, okay, let's build some more in Arizona this month, then that's what we'll focus on is geotags in Arizona. And we'll start adding people and connecting with people through doing that. And it was like one of my goals when I got started to be in all 50 states. And just by doing the geotags, that has allowed us to grow a team in all 50 states. So it's been really cool to be able to do that and kind of grow a network while building relationships with people all over the world.
Cool. Very cool. All right. So you're adding people on Facebook and on Instagram. You're liking, you're commenting. Tell me where it goes from like, hey, new friend, to like, hey, you'd be good at this, or let's join my team.
Okay. So I would say, this is like, I would say like a week to 2 week timeline before I would reach out if they don't reach out to me. But as soon as I start interacting with them on their profile, I make sure that they start interacting back. So a lot of the time I will ask a question. That way they respond. And just like mentally, that just helps me know like, okay, they see me, they know who I am, they're responding to my question. Just asking like, where did you get those shoes? Or, like, what's your guys' like favorite place to eat around there? Things like that. And asking a question is really great because, like that response back means that they know who you are. And so I do that for about a week to 2 weeks. And from there, if they don't message me, then I will just reach out to them. And it's something so simple like, hey, Amanda, I think you'd be really incredible at what I do. I usually don't send messages like this, but I had to reach out to you because you've been on my mind ever since I started following your profile. And something so simple like that. And so I try to stick it no more than 4 sentences when I'm first messaging someone. And I always usually get a response back. And if it's a no thank you, then I've planted that in their mind. So I don't take a no thank you as like they're not interested, but just not right now, because I know, I planted that in their mind. So every time that they see my posts, they're going to think about the opportunity and what it could do for them. And so I'm very, very confident, and I love reaching out to people because I know my profile is welcoming. It's a great space online. I know I'm planting that seed, even if they say no thank you. So it's all about, building that confidence in your profile and taking care of like what you're posting, how you're posting. And that's huge for me.
Awesome. So yeah, it's just that little bit like, oh my gosh, I think you'd be so good at what I do. Do you often find that people that then say, well, what do you do? Or,
oh my gosh, yes. Well, a lot of the time, they'll be like, really? You think I'd be good? And I'm like, yeah, but people don't really understand network marketing. And so I know for me, if you would have like said something like that to me 3 years ago, I would have not a clue what you're talking about. And so whenever they say, what do you do? I immediately ask for their number. And so that for me is like my biggest tip is I get their number immediately, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and I get them over to a text. And some people tell me no, but that's fine. I'll just hang out in the message and talk with them. But as soon as I can get their number, that helps me kind of with staying organized with my potentials. And when you're working on social media, you've really got to work more towards that relationship. And so getting a number is the next step. So there are certain steps that you're going to be taking with building that relationship online. And it takes a little bit more time to build a relationship online rather than in person. So social media is a little bit more work. And as soon as I get their number, I tell them a little bit about the company, but then I switch it and I make it all about them. So what type of income are you looking for monthly? What would help you guys breathe? Or what would give you, just some breathing room? And so they're going to give you that number. And then I ask them like, what are some things that would be on your dream board or some of your goals for this year? And that gets them really talking about kind of like what's going on in their life. You feel more connected to them. And then I use that as for my follow-up as well, is like connecting with them on that level, but always getting their number has been so huge for me.
And then do you get them on the phone or you get them on a text, you said?
So I kind of do both. It just depends. I do a lot of voice messaging, which just helps. Again, it's steps that you just have to take when you're building online. They have to hear your voice, whether it's on the phone or voice messaging. And so I love getting people on the phone. And the reason that I do that is because you have to think that, this business, especially right now, is about urgency. And so when you can get someone on the phone in 10, 15 minutes, they're signed up. Whereas it could take you 2 weeks of texting back and forth to even get them signed up. So jumping on the phone with them is so much easier for me because they hear me, I can hear them. We feel more connected. I'm thoroughly answering their questions and signing them up right then and there. I'm like, okay, I'm at my computer. Let's go ahead and get you all set up and then we'll get your training started. So I think being very intentional is the biggest key. And I do that by voice messaging and getting people on the phone.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. And I hope you guys heard that she will just sign them up for them often.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here. Let's do it here.
Uh-huh.
I found that I've been doing that too. Just, all right, what's your name, email, phone number? We can do this together.
Yep.
Hi. Owen has a fever today.
Oh, Owen.
He's laying down watching Wild Kratts. So hold on one second, babe. So urgency, getting on the phone. And sometimes I think we can, at least for me, it's easy to be like, okay, here's the deal. Reality is you can get so much more done when you're on the phone, right? You can answer their questions. You can be excited. You can get so much more done versus a text or, a message chat that can take a while. So I think getting on the phone is a way to duplicate your efforts or just do it faster because, again, you're getting that information out there. A couple things that I heard you say that I think are really important to remember, too, is that you don't have to be the expert. You guys, you don't have to be the expert. I know what I know. After 10 years in this business, I know a lot. And I probably talk about the science too much, or I'm like, let me tell you what I've learned over the past 10 years. You know what I mean? And it's not about what I know at all. We actually just did a Zoom with our team last week where we practiced answering questions back and forth. And it was really cool to hear how the people who skipped, like didn't even answer the question, like, how does the wrap work? Like, what goals do you have? You know, they didn't even answer the question because that's not the point. What goals do you have? What are you looking to do? How does this work? How do you make money? What monthly income would best suit your, you know, getting them to start talking about what they want, what they need, and dreaming again, that's going to be the magic maker, not you knowing all the answers. So one thing that I think stops people from getting on the phone is that they don't feel like they know everything. And what I hope you guys hear is that it's probably best if you don't. Because I probably say too much. That's kind of the way. But I think that what we do, and I'm learning and just being reminded of this too, is just be someone who's good at asking.
Yeah.
Good mentors, I like to say, don't have all the answers, but they just are good at asking questions and listening, and then they can direct based on that.
People love to talk about themselves. So as soon as you start talking and asking questions, they love it. They love talking about themselves. So that helps so much, but you don't have to know everything to do this at all.
Yeah, and
you're learning every day.
Yeah, and you know, they feel connected to you when they're telling you those types of things, and when you're giving them positive, warm feedback, and you're not just like, meh. But when you're a friendly back, then you're instantly connected. So your closing line when you're on the phone is, "All right, I'm sitting at my computer. Let's get you started."
Yep. And then if they don't want to give me their info, then I'll just say, okay, go ahead and jump online and I'll walk you right through my website. And so that way I know that they're enrolling right then and there instead of, you know, I mean, you've given your website and you're like, okay, here's my site. And then they never sign up. So I try to do it as soon as I'm on the phone with them. If they don't want to give me their info, I'll just walk them right through my website.
Another thing that I've learned too, just from my own experience with reaching out, to people about like different products I'm interested in, is by the time they actually reach out to you, they've probably thought about it for a while.
Yeah.
So it's really important that, number one, you take that seriously and go for the close right away. I mean, if you are building relationships, that's one thing. But if they're reaching out and saying, hey, tell me more, they've most likely been dreaming about it. They've been thinking about it. They've been seeing you for a while. You know what I mean? By the time they actually reach out, a lot of times it's not the first time for them. So I love that you just say, all right, let's go. Let's get you started.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So is there any like organization follow-up tips or anything for those people that maybe say, all right, let me do some more research, or I'm not quite ready? What do you do for those middle group?
Okay, so I usually will ask the question, where are you at 1 through 10, 10 being that you're ready to sign up right now. And they'll give me a number. And so based on that number, I'll say, okay, how can we get you to a 10? And it's usually things like, I need to talk to my husband, or they're going to ask you questions they haven't asked yet, or maybe they don't have the $99, but they didn't mention that yet. And so that kind of opens up an area to discuss the things that haven't been brought up yet. And I have a response for everything. And it doesn't have to be like a crazy, like a intense, intelligent response. If they don't have the $99, I would say, okay, we can pre-sell your wraps. You can sell something. Let's pick a date that we're signing you up. And just as simple as that. That's all that I say. And if they're really, really wanting to join the business, they'll come up with the $99. I know for us, we sold stuff, things that meant a lot to us, but we sold it because we wanted to do something to change our situation. And if they need to talk to their husband, again, okay, I'll message you later on tonight. But there's, so much of my business, when you see me welcoming people and adding to my team and growing my business, most of it is through following up with people. So don't always think that people are just knocking at my door ready to sign up, because, so much of my business is following up with people like 10 to 15 times. And that's just the reality of the business. But that's a huge key that you can't miss out on, is the follow-up. That is like the gold for your business.
Yeah, people sometimes they're like, if only I could be a fly on your wall. And I'm like, all I do all day is generate leads.
Yeah.
That is what I do.
Yes.
But again, when you're following up, you're not sending them big, long messages. You're keeping it simple.
No, and that's why, like, you want to get to know them while you're first getting started in your conversations, because that is my leverage for following up. So if I was talking to Amanda and she told me, she was wanting an extra $1,000 a month to start paying for daycare, that's what I'm following up with is, hey, Amanda, I knew you were really excited about generating the extra income to start paying for daycare. Let me know if you want to jump on a call later today and we can get you started. So that's why, like on my phone, under their contact is like a little note section. And that's where I put all of that, is how much income they're wanting. What are some of their goals? And that's what I use to follow up. And my follow-up is so simple.
What about with like your virtual parties, opportunity calls? Do you invite prospects to those things too?
Yep. So we do opportunity events all the time, weekly, like VIP wrap parties online. We invite people to everything, but the biggest part again is the follow-up afterwards. And, if we did an opportunity event and they didn't sign in, well, then we'll add them to the next one. And it's kind of like they know we'll always be there. So we know you'll end up signing, but it's just a matter of when. But yeah, we add them to everything and we just keep on adding them to everything too.
And I think too, one of the reasons why we have opportunity calls or why we have the wrap parties and things like that, one team, one missions in your area, is to have a reason to reach out to them again and be like, oh my gosh, we're having a virtual party. Can I invite you? This is a great way to learn more. And it's often not even about the event as much as it's about all the people you invited to it. You know what I mean? So again, just keep being loud about that. And they may need 2 to 5, 10 invites before they.
I've had people like show up at opportunity events time after time after time, and whatever they were waiting for, they're waiting like to hear a certain story or just to hear something more about the business, whatever it is, they end up hearing that, whether it's the first time or the 10th time. But that's what you have to do, is stay with that consistency of offering that to people and, helping them learn about the opportunity, learn about the business. And some people it does take one time. Some people it does take multiple times.
So one question I have is about like post or content creation. So post creation, pictures, do you have a pattern you use or anything that you like, kind of rules you stick to?
Yeah, so for my Instagram, it is like I kind of break things up. So I would do like food and then like a picture of me and then like a quote and then a product post and then a picture of Harper and then an opportunity post. And it's like, and not in like a specific order every time, but I break it up. But when I say like a picture of me, it still is an opportunity post, but it's not like a picture of like a nice picture of the kit or something like that. But I break it up more on Instagram than I do on Facebook. And so, I kind of have, between like fashion and friends and doing a quote or a picture of me. And I get a lot of pictures from Pinterest a lot of the time. And, or I just get ideas from that and I get creative, and it allows, that's like something that's huge for me, is like, I have to like be creative in what I'm doing. It's just a part of my personality. And so I love doing that, but breaking it up is huge, especially when you're on Instagram, because when people click on your profile, the first thing that they're looking at is like your first 6 to 9 photos. And so those photos speak a lot of volume. So you always want to make sure that it's not product, but that it's a product post and then like a picture of your kids and then a quote and then a picture of you and then your friends. You have to break it up, because those like 6 to 9 pictures, that speaks so much of your profile.
And how often during the day do you post? Is it the 6?
So I think Facebook is like, you don't want to post more than, I would say, like 2 to 3 hours, because you're knocking yourself off of the algorithm. And when you're posting in a team page too, so like if you post in a team page before that 2 to 3 hour mark, that bumps off your algorithm too, which a lot of people don't know. But that 2 to 3 hour range is great for Facebook. And Instagram, I say I post like maybe 2 to 3 times a day, but I use Instagram story. And I feel like a lot of people aren't using that, but that's been so huge for my business because on there, I can post all day long. It's just like Snapchat, where I don't even use Snapchat anymore because I have so many people on my Instagram that I use my Instagram story. And that for me, you can slide up and see who's looking at your story. And those are more people that I can start interacting with and adding to my network and turning on notifications for them. So Instagram story, I post all day long, but my actual profile is like 2 to 3 times a day.
Cool. Very cool. Let's see. Any other idea? I'm reading through some of the questions that people had. While I'm reading through this, one of the questions is training new distributors, because it's the balance of working your warm market. Like, you're kind of like, all right, you guys, you have people now that you've got your warm market to work while you're building your social media presence. So how do you train new distributors to do a little bit of everything?
Okay, so the first thing that I do is I have them start their eSuite training is like the very first step. So I have them start their eSuite training. I have them, I send them a post for social media. And from there, it's important to know what their goal is. And that's kind of how I train people, because I'm not going to put 100% of my energy into someone that wants to generate $300 a month. I'm going to match that and train them based on what they're wanting. And so that's been really important for me, especially honoring my time. Is if you want $2,000 a month, I'm going to train you differently than someone who wants $300 to $500 a month. And so that is always my first question, is knowing what they're wanting from the business. And that always changes. The $300 to $500, they see the opportunity and then they want more. But I start everybody out with doing their eSuite training and getting them added onto our team page and kind of helping them create that market. So where are you going to build? Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be blitzing and wrapping people? Where do you feel like your biggest strength is starting out? Because that's what we want to utilize. And from there, it's their hundreds list, having them print off their diamond charts and to start filling it with people that they know could use some extra income. Same thing with our steps to success. We print that off as well. And we just start getting people on the phone. We do a launch event. Usually they're online or Zoom, because I do build all over. And so that is something that we do within the first week, is making sure that their business is getting launched. And that's when they gather their 4 customers. We try to get their 4 customers in their first 72 hours. It's always our goal. And we do that just by, I'll send them a message to send out to people, and I'll send them a great post for social media. But that's, I don't hold people's hand every step of the way. I want them to grow and get uncomfortable. And I know that's for me is how I bloomed, is because I got so uncomfortable. And I feel like that's when your business gets blessed, is when you step outside of your comfort zone. So every day I'm pushing my team to get uncomfortable and to do things that maybe they wouldn't have done the day before, like getting people on the phone. That's something a lot of people have to practice. And it's so uncomfortable. And I have a girl on my team, and God love her, she can't even call to order a pizza because she's just doesn't like being on the phone. And so you just have to get uncomfortable. And that's something that we do from the very beginning. But I let them know, I am here to help you, so utilize me. And the people that are asking the most questions are the people that I'm most focused on, And so asking questions, I love it. There's not a wrong question that you can ask. I know you're working when you're asking questions, but, having them starting off with their training and doing all of that helps so much, because so much of their questions are getting answered during that time. So I have them keep a notebook, write down any questions they have while they're watching their training. And then we go right into what do you need to go diamond, and what's our game plan. So we'll create that from the start.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so true. Be the squeaky wheel, because
yes, I love it.
I always say we don't have time to herd sheep. I don't have time or the ability to be come on, you want to hang out with us? I swear. But when you're here and you're learning and you're growing, you'll thrive.
Yes.
Over and over again.
Yep.
What about keeping your team motivated? What do you do to really keep the gas on the fire?
I feel like I just lead by example, and they see me working my business. They see me enrolling people, and there's only so much you can do to motivate people. They have to find the motivation themselves. And so like having your vision board created, having your goals written down, where you can see every single day is huge. But that's going to be enough motivation for you is when you are looking at that every day. But if you want your team to be working, just like Pam says, if you want a runner, then be the runner, be the person leading by example. And how I do that is I'm enrolling people and I'm just showing them what I'm doing. It's as simple as that. There's, that's all that there is to it. I can't motivate you to work. You have to motivate yourself, but I will always lead by example.
And I think when you do that and you're being loud about your success, people go, oh, it's possible. It's happening. Yeah. I want to be like that too. Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right. A couple questions from the chat. Let's see. What do you do if people don't respond to your messages?
So if I already have, like if I'm following up and they're not responding, I just keep following up. One of my double diamonds, she's about to go triple, but I followed up with her, I think 17 to 19 times before she ever even responded. And that's just because I knew that she had potential. And so I'd never stop following up. But if I'm like reaching out to them on social media and I see that they can see it, I would just say something like, I hope I didn't say anything to offend you. If I know that they saw the message, and usually they'll always respond to that because, like what you have to remember is that people have lives going on. And so there are even times when I open a message and I don't respond because like something like Harper dropped something or like something's going, you know what I mean? Like just going through life. And so I send multiple messages. Even if I don't hear back, I'll reach out probably 4 to 5 times and just keep interacting on their page if I really, really want them on my team.
Awesome. So you're liking, you're commenting, you're messaging the simple things such as, I think you'd be really good at what I do. Have you ever thought about making extra money or just, being consistent with that? Let's see. Can you repeat the info about the Facebook algorithm? How often should you post?
I would post no more than every 2 to 3 hours. I post on Facebook probably 4 to 5 times a day. And that's it. That's for the algorithm. That's what I do.
And then do you think about your posts like a couple days out? Do you plan them out? Do you take your pictures? How do you organize it? Or are you just like, oh, what should I do today? Or a little both.
A little bit of both, I would say. Like when BOGO comes unexpectedly, that like those are clearly like my main focus is getting those out rather than like other products, if that makes sense. I really focus on the BOGO. And when things like that happen, it just throws that off a little bit. But as far as planning my posts, I wouldn't say that I necessarily plan them, but like if something comes to my mind, I type it out. And if I've already posted like within that 2 to 3 hours, then I'll save it for when I can post again. And I just store it in my notes. But I use, I'll go through and I use a lot of like older posts that I've done, but I'll just save them on Facebook and then save those to use them. And I kind of just go with the flow if something's on my mind. But every day I make sure that I'm doing an opportunity post, a product post, and then like a personal life post. No matter what, you'll see those 3 on my profile.
Awesome. What I've found is that if you lead with the products, you'll get customers. And if you lead with the business, you'll get distributors. So do you have verbiage for either one that you feel like has worked better than the rest?
So I do, I would say, not like as far as like posting verbiage.
Right.
Okay, so I love a lot, like I've been getting a lot of customers from doing, especially on Facebook, like not posting the before and after in the actual post, but doing it in the comments. Like, look at this before and after, you're not going to believe your eyes. And people click on that and they like it. And so I've been getting a lot of customers by doing that. And it's just like a little teaser, And, but no, just before and afters itself are going to get you customers. You just got to make sure that you're being consistent with it. And even if no one is liking or commenting, I didn't like her comment for 3 months, but she was consistent every single day. And so I finally decided to just go ahead and try it out. But I never liked or commented. So if I'm not getting a lot of interaction, I still know that people are seeing it. And that's enough for me, because I know I was the exact same way. And I'm consistent even if I'm not getting a lot of interaction. And I think that that's what people like. They don't get a lot of interaction, so they just stop posting them. But I'm like, you've got to post every single day a product and an opportunity post, and be consistent at doing that. But there's so much different verbiage that you can use and different posts that you can use for as far as products go, but the before and after speak for themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are looking for, is for those pictures.
And what about an opportunity post? What do you find is a good keyword or something that you mentioned?
So I would say for the opportunity post is like kind of asking the question of what would X amount of income do for you, and like asking that question in a post. It's just like what I do when I'm talking to them is, you know, what would a $10,000 bonus do for your family? That is always get people to message me, because they start to think like, what would $10,000 do for our family? Or maybe I should finally find out more about it. And even $500, what would that do for your family? You know? So asking that question, what would X amount of money do for your family, is always a big one. And, like just post about like, what would you do if you owned your 24/7, things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it is. It's about being creative, showing stories, success stories. So whether that's product stories or business stories, sharing a bit of your story. But then the biggest thing is not like, what I hear you saying is not being, how do I say this? I hear you getting in their head and in their heart, like, you can do this too. And what would this mean for you? And getting them to dream again and to see that life really can be different. And if they feel stuck, they don't have to be. And whatever it is, like, you are kind of casting that vision in us, whether we're looking to recruit we're looking to recruit prospects and add more people to our network, or even training distributors. I feel like half my job is casting vision. That number one, you can do this. I believe in you. You know, you're helping to combat fear by just pouring belief into not only your prospects, but then new distributors as they start to gain that confidence themselves.
Yep, exactly.
All right, let me look through this list one more time. I think we went through lots of ideas. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to post them in the chat. Let's see. I think we answered almost all of them in a roundabout way, talking about generating leads, creating momentum and excitement, leading by example. At the end of the day, your job, everyone listening, is to figure out your niche, whether it's parties, whether it's expos, whether it's blitzing, whether it's social media, you know, do all of it, and then figure out what you love, and then do it a lot. And I love to hear you say, Alissa, that you're on the phone, because when I went ambassador the first time, I was on the phone probably 10 to 12 hours a day, it felt like. Yep. On the phone. And I'm like, people don't talk on the phone anymore. I don't know what to do. But they do. They do. Yeah. If it's a busy mom, then maybe just use Facebook messaging. But getting people on the phone really does build that relationship. Yeah. All right, one last question. This is from Chelsea. We do power hours on our team almost every day. It's so funny because people started to be like, okay, tell me what you do every day. And I'm like, I don't know what I do. So we started this task force group, and we realized we're all working anyway. We might as well do it together. So we started doing a power hour every single day, and it's led by different leaders. I know you guys have done things like that too. One question is what do you do on a power hour, whether it's for your team or a personal power hour where you are like focused on following up and getting work done?
Oh my gosh, power hours I feel like are like follow-up hours. That's like what I spend so much of my time doing, is just following up with people. But I'll also do I'll make sure adding, I have a daily checklist that I do. And so I kind of will break this up into power hours, and I can send this to you if you want me to, but it's just I'll schedule some posts. So add some people to my network. And I don't obsess and spend a lot of time adding to my network because I want to make sure that I'm enrolling people that I already have in my network. So don't get caught up in the numbers game. Because you already have your hands on tons of people. So start enrolling those people before you get caught up in adding more and more and more people. And like engaging with 25 people by commenting and messaging and interacting through text or social media. I do that. I follow up with my customers. I'm writing encouraging posts on my teammates' walls, so my leaders' walls, people I know who are going for promotions. I messaged 25 people about being product testers. I messaged 25 people about being a distributor. So these are like things that I kind of break up into power hours. Let's see what else. I'll send like a tip or a video to my new distributors. I'll check in with my top 10 leaders and then my top 10 newest distributors. Let's see, what else do I do? I'll schedule some posts. I already said that. Follow up with my customers. And then I'll schedule like Zooms or like online parties for the week. And I do that all at once because then I know like it's done. It's over with. Everything is scheduled. And then I also have on here my self-development, which I do 30 minutes in the morning and then 30 minutes in the evening.
Awesome. Yes. And we would totally love that. If you've got a file, you can message it to me. And you guys all post it in the event that we created for this call. That would be awesome. So I had a couple of girls say, just so you know, Alissa and you are interviewing me on the white couch. So Emily is envisioning us talking to her on the white couch on stage, sharing her own story.
Take it. I love it.
Absolutely. And you know what, Alissa will be. Oh, go ahead.
I took a picture with Alissa right before she left conference and told her that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to leave the airport.
That's awesome. Clear about what you want and then just decide it's happening and work your butt towards it. And Emily absolutely has. She's been rocking out these last few months.
Good job, Emily. That's awesome.
Well, Alissa, you will be at the May boot camp in Grand Rapids.
Perfect. I'll see you there. Are you guys going to Phoenix?
I am not because I'm going to Germany the following week.
Awesome.
And Brandon would kill me because if I went to Phoenix, it would have been Phoenix, Germany, May boot camp, and then Kyler's wedding 4 weekends in a row. So
I'll see you at boot camp and at the wedding.
Yes. Awesome. So we will be for all of you that are in the Midwest area, get to the Grand Rapids boot camp because this is what it's about, is just finding people who are the movers and shakers of the business, duplicating what they do, learn and grow yourself because it's happening. It might as well be you, right?
I know. Don't miss this momentum. It's huge. Get to work. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of our call today. And, someone says they're going to Arizona. So, yes, if you're in the Midwest, come to Grand Rapids. If you are in the West, go to Arizona, get to one, and we can't wait to see your aha moments and your growth every step of the way. So thank you, Alissa. We so appreciate you and your wisdom. Have an awesome day, you guys. Thank you.